Diego si Immortal, VP.
Naku, lakad matatang!
Normally.
Cold Snap if you have an urn or something else, like some good damage over time. Come to think of it, the only good damage over time to follow up the Cold Snap is the Dazzle Poison Touch. But of course, the real gamers, they are used to people being a little spicy in their memes. Saying the gamer word, or, well, not saying it, that would be illegal, so he just wrote it on the map. Skadi is gonna get first blooded here. And like I mentioned before, the first... Mickey taking chunks of damage from the end, but Sasqua gets turned on with a little bit of help from the Void, and that is gonna be a kill. Razor on the top lane also going down. Get around the same time frame, and then just never stop running at your enemy. Pango goes on down as we are talking about enemies being ran down. Marcy will sacrifice herself to the Avalanche in exchange for that one. As well as Marcy's courier, that's something you're not happy with. That is several minutes no boots as well as a ward lost. Kobe by the faceless Void, who knows full well delaying the House of the Dominator is huge. But with a little bit of help from the Dazzle, yeah, that is gonna be a kill. He was dead anyhow to this Poison Touch. And now Invoker comes on in to make sure the other one goes down to Sasqua rip. And as if Kobold. And that Greed Snowball Midas, I love it. I think personally it's freaking amazing. Y-Chan taking chunk after chunk after chunk from the Templar Assassin, only for Void to teleport in and get a 2-man Chronosphere. Beautiful avalanche onto 2, and Sasqua goes down as well. Mainly well, that even being 14 kills behind, as long as TA doesn't die, you're gonna be rich. Dockrest takes a ton of damage from the Psyblades, gets put back in place, and down he goes. Y-Chan also got hit by a Psyblade, but is now turning things around. He has so much spell damage, he doesn't even have to care about his own health. Down goes Netican on this TA. And Enge dying to Pango, as will the Marcy. It's just brutal. Marcy going for the chase, got a very valuable kill on the Invoker. But leaving her team alone, leading K ahead. Beastmaster gets smoked for. Swashbuckle on the mark. Roar onto the Pangolier to try and create a little bit of space, but Pangolier just gets tossed. Why does the ball need to roll when you can just use it as a throwing projectile? Boom, Pango in your face. What you say now? And look at the tower damage he is dealing. That is pretty huge. With a double a single catapult wave. Roche, meanwhile, goes the way of Gorilla. And for that, the Razor will go down. 40 seconds, that's quite the respawn timer. If they get everybody else out, they could say worth it, considering this is also going to result in tier 3 damage now. But nope, Marcy gets caught, and there's the TP back to defense. Marcy missing her jump, Dota 3. Funny how she was mid-air stunned, and now Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder trying to get away. He will be able to get away for now. Over on the bottom side of the fight, Y-Chan is taking one hit after another from the Razor. Shadowgrave coming in to save him. Dockrest buying even more space for his team, but Fonte getting stacked up with armor reduction. He gets put to half health as Marcy once again goes on down. This time around lasts a surprisingly long while. A tier 3 lane of Rex first should be able to just straight up end from there. You push bases down so fast. Faces Void, goes for a Chronosphere on the Razor with the Avalanche Toss combo. It should be enough damage. Razor procs the BKB, but stun RNG says no. Just half a second before the save is there. He goes down, and now for that save attempt, Marcy dies as well, being tossed into a tornado. They get the Dazzle for that, but it's only a Dazzle. Now the Rolling Thunder chases for more. Void goes ham on the Beastmaster. Beastmaster dead. Enchantress, you think you're untouchable, but no, you're not. Void just attacks too fast at this point at Fonte. Both teams very careful around the mid lane, or at least they were before Razor gets tossed back, procs the BKB, but gets completely countered out by a Ghost Scepter. Razor procs Refresher, double static link. He is going so ham, and the Chronosphere on the Pangolier means that Razor may have maximum damage stolen, but suddenly his ultimate doesn't work that well anymore. He cannot right-click people anymore. He wants to force someone to stay in the base. Just prevent KOBOLDS from ever being able to fight. KOBOLDS, they go for an attempt to fight just now and they don't. Okay, they do. The Hawk hit him and then he took the damage in the base. That's a new one. To just solo finish the bot tower since, yeah, he's a Void with an Aegis. You cannot engage into him. Maybe they can engage into Dockrus' Tiny though, with the Beastmaster Roar and the Static Link. Lots of damage being done to him. Mickey has to use the Grave for himself, but not like that matters. Razor still just gotta finish off the kill, and they want everything. How much more can they get? Can they get the Pangolier? Yes, they can.
You do not even value that for which you...
Razor, yes, somebody gets it. Marvel, he's saving for that Aghanims. Make sure you get twice the lightning. Over on the mid lane, meanwhile, the Invoker is getting torn to shreds. So I'm a big fan of the Aghanims after Refresher Orb and BKB on Razor, because it gives you the stats you need to live with BKB, and now Chronosphere comes down as Beastmaster gets torn to shreds. Void has some of his damage being stolen here. Not enough to really stop hitting hard, but with TA and Eng, Fonte has to get out of there. Fonte getting ran down. He does have the backtrack talent, which dodged him tons and tons of damage, but Mickey doesn't. Not to end this decisively and quickly and just in the nick of time. I said the 35-minute mark was their fall-off timer. They're playing like that. Look at this. This is how you're supposed to play Razor. The Lightning still doing work, but Void coming in, hitting the Enchantress, hitting the Razor. Okay, so I love the Aghanims on Razor, but I don't love the idea of not going for Megas here. I know I said you need to end before 35, but with... Okay, I guess they're gonna do the lead with the Silver Edge then? They're trying to. Pangolier blinks in, takes a fat chunk of damage from the Templar Assassin, and that's that armor reduction I was talking about. Invoker now faces it too. Fonte hits a beautiful Chronosphere, as Razor can't get close enough to steal his damage away before the Chronosphere has done its job. Razor presses Refresher, presses everything, and look at Void suddenly die. Once again, a super nice Shallow Grave comes on in, so Razor decides to run down Mickey, try and run down Dockrus, run down anyone really, he doesn't care. All of these Ghost Steps are so annoying, but Fonte has died once Dazzle was driven away. And we got the Roar on Dazzle, who immediately goes Scepters and walks out of there. Forward jumps CA straight into an Avalanche though. Tiny goes centering himself up to stay alive, means Dazzle gets focused on now. Tiny dead as well, following Dazzle into the grave. And now they can finally group up and push. Marvel able to get out of there. Now it looks like Enchantress not gonna get saved anywhere from the backlines. It's just gonna get Tornado down, plus an Ice Wall for good measure. And Swashbuckle to finish the job. Game goes back and in comes this Void. Can't wait to hit tier 3 towers. Can't wait to hit Razor in the face as Razor dies to the Void, being stun locked up by the bashes. That's an instant Razor buyback forced. Void in a bit of trouble as he's broken up, otherwise Marcy would be dead now. Invoke combo, try and deal with the refractions. He doesn't quite hit that perfect time where he can't blink out. This isn't the fastest of pushes I've ever seen, not gonna lie. If you're used to this current Beastmaster meta and then you see a Void slow pushing, it feels kind of weird. Razor dealing a ton of damage and killing off the Dazzle. Dazzle, not yet dead. Should be soon. However, not if instead Razor gets gone and killed off. Mikey. Nuked by TA. Everyone in the dire base grouped up, making sure they stand far enough apart to evade any AoEs. Pangolier. That's not AoEs to avoid, that's a crap ton of damage. Down he goes, Void gets his damage stolen, and in comes Plasma Field to finish the deal. Razor at this point is insanely freaking farmed. He's got a full Satanic as the from the Void with a Chronosphere ready. Looking to defend this in one final hurrah. In comes the Void, not chronoing yet. Instead, the final tier 4 is gonna be given up, and the engine dropping low. Templar Assassin now gets chronoed. The Beastmaster War dodged, very nice. The BKB from TA keeping her alive, and the engine dies to the creep in the meanwhile. Well, that is serious damage. I've mentioned that hero a couple of times, and she never really worked out that well whenever she was picked, and she was only picked like 1 or 2 times in the entire tournament, at least the parts I Chen, look who's coming for dinner, he says. But Docres, he's left alone completely. Everybody greeting for the first blood forget completely about their tiny and they're gonna try to go on the Razor. Razor getting this post, draining a ton of damage from the Marcy. And Marcy taking right click after right click. Visage still man fighting him, waiting for the next Soul Assumption to be ready, but doesn't have mana to cast it. Has to right click Razor down the old fashioned way, so that's gonna be a trade. And it could be even worse as Marvel realizes, yeah, he's dead. Tiny gets.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I wonder if this is gonna be the farming patch. On the bottom lane, Razor, he gets Soul Assumptions and Tiny too hard to engage on, especially Docres Tiny. Over on the bottom lane, Razor trying to steal Marcy's damage once again, but this time around the stuns are there. So it is gonna be a 1-for-1 trade, support for a core trade. Something Kobolds are super, but that's all they can do. So back to tower pushing we go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Patch went down to the Marcy as now Razor tries to punish Visage for that, but will not succeed in doing so. Right clicking the Marcy a bit. They want something out of this now. Gets this post into the tier 2 tower. This tier 2 tower hits really hard. Razor has an ultimate, but he goes down for it. As Marvel, excellent familiar micro, excellent start. Lina on top of the gold net worth by a huge freaking margin, as Patch can't really keep her from farming after all. You can kill her, you can gank and mess with the side lanes as a Patch. That's why he can be played in mid lane. And look at this Lina coming in, making sure the Warlock goes down, and is now looking for more. Huh, Warlock? That's not all the kills I'm here for. I want them all. Docres, hello little stone. Do you want to come and play? Well, too late. Patch trying to go for a hook. But Lina also disciplined. Warlock ultimate gets dropped. Visage awfully low health, but look at Marcy coming in with the sidekick. Soul Assumption to turn around on the Razor. Razor goes on down. The Golem still chasing Visage, but Visage, the damage takes from Warlock were too low to go through that Gravekeeper's cloak. Now the cloak wiggled down, but still not enough, and instead Docres goes on down. The cloak just reset the stack as well. Nice hook dodge from Sasquatch, which may have at least saved Mikey though. Clockwork still running around with the battery assault, but gonna die to the tower. Didn't give Patch the flash heap at least. Enigma run, you don't want to give him the flash heap. Okay, no, he thinks giving the gold to White Chen instead of this Bloodseeker is more valuable than Pudge having 2 less strength. Pudge gets tossed in after a dispose with 2 Visage Familiars there. He can't quite get the cleanup he wanted. At least gets 1 kill before going down. And yet another flash heap. 4 flash heaps for the Pudge. Good job on that. Now, however, Tiny on the front lines, way too squishy as a support, is gonna go down, and so will the Razor. With the Lina just being used to bait. Fatal bonds, what fatal bonds? We are gonna sit around waiting for another initiation. This time around it will be from the Clockwork with a smoke, hook shot onto the Pudge, and Pudge just stun locked and dead. There's already a Spirit Vessel. White Chen, he can try to get the ultimate out, but it doesn't matter against the percentage-based damage. Now Bloodseeker goes on down, and there is Skadi with a one-man black hole just so they clean up the hardest to kill hero as well as that golem. Razor, where good position. Smoke out from three people on the side of KOBOLDS. Over on top, meanwhile, Enigma looking if he can find a kill on the Razor, and he will. With Marvel. With the Rave Pack too, just to make sure his team gets some point of bonus damage, something to be rewarded for helping him by creating so much space. And look at the Lina, look at the Visage. Those two in conjunction can just insta-kill anyone, right? You get them out of position with a Blink Dispose or something. Now the White Chen will get a hook kill on the Clockwork, but down goes Tiny, and they want more. They want White Chen and none other. White Chen being healed up by the Warlock, but with a Soul Assumption. Visage deals too much freaking damage, and GG gets called. Gorilla freaking destroyed. Holy crap, they got wrecked. I'm not gonna lie, they got wrecked. And Gorilla...